so I'm going to facilitate the meeting today. We do have a court reporter who will be taking minutes, and also just so you all are aware, as Lisa has let me know, this is now formally required by the legislature to be recorded. So just please, as you're speaking, introduce yourself. Try and speak slowly, and make sure that as we do introduction that you spell your name and your company so that we can get that in the minutes. And then we will go through the agenda. So again, I'll start with me. I'm Sherry Ernst, SHERRIERNST, and I'm with Covenant Health, and I'm facilitating today. And I guess we'll go around the room and we'll start with our payers. So let's start with Blue Cross.
Hi, this is Pat Sullivan, PATSULLIVAN, and I'm with Blue Cross, Tennessee.
If there's no other Blue Cross representatives on the phone, we'll go ahead and go to AmeriGroup.
Good afternoon. This is Linda Williamson, LINDA, WILLIAMSON, Director of Health Plan Operations, AmeriGroup.
This is Sherry again. Next representative, please, for AmeriGroup.
Hi, this is Poonam Basi from AmeriGroup. P as in Peter, OON as in Nashville, AM as in Minnesota, B as in Bob, ASSI.
Okay. This is Sherry again. If there's no one else from AmeriGroup, is there a representative from United Healthcare? Okay, maybe they'll join in a moment. So I guess we'll start with Ms. Lisa Jordan.
This is Lisa Jordan. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the TennCare Oversight Division in the Department of Commerce and Insurance, and I serve on the panel as the Commissioner's designee.
Okay, Ms. Patricia.
I am Patricia Newton, NEWTON. I'm the Compliance Manager for TennCare Oversight Division.
And who else is from the TennCare or TDCI?
I don't believe anyone else is participating, Sherry.
Okay, and then I believe there was a Van.
Yes, Van, V-A-N, Pinnock, PINNOCK, and I'm an independent reviewer.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is Sherry again. We will go ahead and start with our agenda, and I believe that this may be for Ms. Patricia, and we're going to do a summary request for independent review and provider complaints.
Thank you, Sherry. I'll address independent review first. Through the first 2 quarters of 2022, we received 145 requests for independent review. I've also looked at the results for the 3rd quarter as far as sheer numbers, and we received an additional 58 requests during the 3rd quarter. We don't have the results of very many of them, so they're not included in your actual handouts. But you'll notice that we had a big spike of receipts in the 2nd quarter. First quarter we had 50, in the 2nd quarter we had 95, and then as I said, in the 3rd quarter we had 58. Also, I wanted to point out in the spreadsheets that were sent to you all, there is a additional column that I had not previously been including that I thought might be helpful to you. It's in the F column. It's the denial type. We track whether a disputed claim was denied or was recouped. And so you can see that a significant number of the ones we've received, especially in that 2nd quarter, were recouped claims. And so that led to some significant increase in the number.
So, Patricia, this is Sherry. I did have a question about that. So, from a provider's perspective, those are really very similar. So, what is really the difference between the two?
Well, the difference is that the claim was originally paid,
Okay.
and then the plan did a post-payment review or audit and made a determination that the service typically wasn't medically necessary. Most of these have to do with the dispute whether it's inpatient or outpatient services appropriately. So,
Okay.
as you can see, a lot of these inpatient, outpatient services disputes were recouped services.
Okay, this is Sherry again. So, Pat, I think that's probably because of your auditor. I know we've seen a lot of volume here at Covenant as well.
Yeah, it's actually, and it's one facility, mainly one facility that we're getting from, and we've been in talks with them, worked out an agreement with them, but unfortunately we continue to get them, and I think that's probably where we saw a spike in third and fourth quarter as well. But it is one particular facility in the Knoxville area that we're getting from.
Thank you.
Pat, this is Lisa Jordan. The court reporter says you're breaking up a little bit, so if you could, when you speak again, if you could make sure you're speaking directly into the microphone, that would be helpful.
Sure, be more than happy to.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Chris Morant with AmeriGroup in lieu of Lori Stifler. I just want to announce myself. Thank you.
Chris, this is Sherry Ernst. Would you mind spelling your last name, please, for the court reporter?
Yes, I will. Last name is Morant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patricia, we'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, with regard to the provider complaints, there are more being filed this year than last, but the jump is not as high as it has been in the independent reviews. And as you can see, in the first quarter we had 153, second quarter 175, for a first half of the year total of 328. Also, in column B, you can also see which ones are denied claims and which ones are recouped claims. There's not anywhere near as many recouped as there are denied, but there are a fairly significant number of them, and most of them are from one Middle Tennessee provider on the recouped claims, as you can see when you look at the spreadsheets.
Yes.
We've always been tracking this information. We just weren't always putting it on the spreadsheets that you all receive. But since we were getting so many more recouped ones, we thought we'd start showing you what we got this year.
Hi, Patricia. This is Pat, too. I think it's important to note that we had a significant time during the public health emergency where TennCare actually asked us to not perform audits for a period of time, and sometime in late 2021, I believe, they allowed us to continue those audits again and allowed us to go back during all of 2021 and some of 2020 in order to catch up to those audits. So we're seeing a lot of that influx this year as well. And so we've had significant more activity this year as a result of that. So hopefully we'll see it calm down a little bit in the next year or so, but that's one of the reasons why you see a lot more auditing this year, is because there was a period of time where we were not allowed to audit facility claims per TennCare's direction.
Thank you.
Patricia, this is Sherry again. Is there a systemic theme in these provider complaints? I know for Covenant, which is obviously what I represent, we were having concerns about the denial reasons not being specific enough in the letter. Is that also some of the same issues that the Middle Tennessee Hospital is having? Do you recall?
I don't recall that was as much of an issue with the Middle Tennessee one.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's helpful because I think our issue has gotten better, hence why our number of provider complaints has decreased.
This is Lisa Jordan. I would like to add something else we've started this year, effective January the 1st. We are now collecting information from the health plans when either a reviewer finds in favor of the provider, which means the health plan has to process and pay the claim in dispute, or the health plan, because of a provider complaint, has decided to overturn an initial denial or recoupment. We are now collecting the data showing the additional amount of money that is paid out to the provider as a result of going through the independent review and provider complaint processes. The reason that we started doing this is sometimes we have had questions, particularly from members of the General Assembly, on how effective these processes are. And in particular with independent review, since there is a fee associated with requesting claims disputes go to independent review, is there a cost benefit of doing this? So we have started collecting that information. We're still working on tweaking how that data is reported to make sure it's being reported consistently across all the plans. But I think that at the next meeting, we'll start giving you that information as well so you can see, how this does benefit providers, and rather than trying to litigate a dispute, go to very expensive litigation or arbitration, that these processes are of value to the providers in trying to resolve disputes with the health plans.
And this is Patricia Newton. If I can add one thing, what we are collecting is, for example, what the provider is actually paid when they prevail or the plan reverses itself, not the total claim. So, for example, if a claim originally paid, say, $10,000, and it should have paid, according to the provider, $15,000, we're collecting that difference. In other words, the $5,000. We're not looking at the entire claim. We're looking at what benefit there was. And as you all know, sometimes reviewers will say that they'll uphold a denial on an inpatient stay, but they will then say the claim should be paid on the outpatient or observation. So we are collecting what is paid for the services as outpatient or observation.
Okay. This is Sherry again. Thanks, Patricia, for that. Do you have anything else?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And so I believe we're going to move on to the report on prompt pay compliance.
This is Lisa Jordan again. We have finalized the results of the prompt pay testing since our last meeting for the months of May through August. We are looking at the prompt pay, the statutory and the contractual prompt pay standards when we're doing our test work. You can see that we have added Cover Kids to our testing since starting in January of this year. All 3 health plans are required to provide Cover Kids benefits. All of the plans were in compliance with the statutory and contractual standards during the periods under review, except for in May. United Healthcare did not meet the prompt pay standard for Cover Kids. That was corrected, and they were in compliance for the following months. But otherwise, all of the health plans are meeting the prompt pay requirements. And that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
If there are no questions, this is Sherry again. We will go ahead and proceed to new business.
This is Lisa. I don't have any new business to discuss.
This is Sherry again. Then I guess we'll go ahead and talk about a next meeting date. Lisa and I had discussed prior to us starting the meeting that perhaps sometime in April or May would be agreeable. Would everyone look at their calendars, and if there's a specific time period that you cannot meet, would you go ahead and let us know? And we can go ahead and get this on the books. And this would be of 2023, hard to believe.
Hey, and this is Chris Moran with the Mayor Group. Can I just add to please add my name and email to the distribution for these invites going forward, please? That would be very helpful.
This is Sherry again. Chris, do we have your information, or could you send that to Elaine Moore?
I can send it to Elaine Moore.
Okay.
Yes, this is Lisa, and Sherry, we do have Chris's contact information, so I'll make sure that Elaine adds Chris to the distribution list.
This is Sherry again. Thank you very much. So looking at the proposed dates, I believe that Easter falls on, well, if I could find it. Does anyone have that off the top of their head? Normally it's on my calendar.
I think it is April the 9th.
The 9th?
Mm-hmm.
So assume that some folks may be taking off. Would we want to look at maybe the last week in April? That would begin with Monday the 24th all the way through the 28th.
I would be available except for the 26th, but the other dates are open.
Okay. Is everyone okay with maybe the 27th, keeping this on a Thursday?
This is Lisa. That would work for me.
Hi, this is Pat Sullivan. That works for me as well.
Okay, this is Sherry again. If no one objects, we'll go ahead and set the date for April the 27th at 1 p.m. Central Time. This is Sherry again. That should conclude our meeting. Thank you all for attending, and happy holidays coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.